Prince Harry is breaking his silence over what was discussed in his private conversation with King Charles last week, which only proves one thing: he still can't be trusted. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Prince Harry, he is breaking his silence over what was discussed in his private conversation with King Charles last week, which for me only proves one thing: the dumbass still cannot be trusted. So here's one of the headlines from The Independent. Prince Harry saying that his tell-all book Spare was not about revenge. So he's trying to say that he had this discussion with King Charles, right? And yeah, his memoir Spare, he was like to the king, oh, it wasn't about revenge at all. Does anyone believe that BS for a second? I know I don't. But let's jump into this article here and hear out what the wah has to say about it. So here, speaking to The Guardian during a visit to Kiev, which followed several days in the UK, he told The Guardian, quote, that Spare was a series of corrections to stories already out there. I don't remember a story being out there prior to Spare being released, right, about Hazza and Prince William fighting. I don't remember specifically there being in the press before Spare that Prince William allegedly, right, attacked Harry to the point where Harry fell over and smashed his back on the dog bowl. I don't remember that being out there. I also don't remember it being out there before Spare that Harry essentially got a drone and had the alleged intention, we'll say, of, destroying his father's car with it. Seriously, this dude cannot be trusted. Trying to correct a series of corrections to stories already out there. Pull the other one, mate. And so he says that, you know, following his visit to the UK, in terms of what happened with King Charles, he said that it definitely brought us that closer together, saying, I know that speaking out annoys some people and it goes against the narrative. The book, it was a series of corrections to stories already out there. One point of view had been put out and it needed to be corrected. I don't believe that I aired my dirty laundry in public. What reality is he freaking living in? But he says, it was a difficult message, but I did it in the best way possible. My conscience is clear. Yeah. Difficult message, my backside. Like, seriously, he's been going, right, to Meg's school of word salad, right? Because this, as far as I'm concerned, is not the reality of what happened when he published Spare. It's not the reality, as far as I'm concerned, of what's in the freaking book in the first place. But let's go one step further here, right? He says he don't believe that he aired his dirty laundry in public. Okay. Yeah, what about that Oprah interview? What about Meg's countless interviews, the one with the cut, for example? What about Hazza's interviews following Spare? I mean, come on, there's so many examples of Hazza and Megzy airing their alleged dirty laundry in public. For him to turn around and say, no, that didn't happen, dude's trying to gaslight. I'm not going to allow it to happen. How about you guys, right? He says, it's not about revenge, it's about accountability. Yeah. That makes as much sense, right, as them in the Oprah interview, insinuating, saying, alleging, however you want to put it, right, that there was a member of the royal family that was racist because they allegedly questioned the colour of the skin of unborn baby Archie, right? For him then to turn around years later, right, after all the headlines came out that, oh, Hazza and Megzy mentioned that there's a royal racist in the family. After all those headlines come out, years later he then turns around and says, we didn't call him racist, we said it's unconscious biasness. Yeah, he's trying to pull the same trick. But here, saying it's not about revenge, it's about accountability. Again, does anyone believe this BS? I don't think so. His conscience is not clear in any way, shape, or form. Dude is deluding himself. Now, Megsy's also mentioned as well. Thanks to Royally Sage at Sage1411 for sharing this on X from Sabira Lloyd, saying Harry mentions his wife Meghan only once by name, a reference to something she told him about how telling the truth is the most efficient way to live. Megsy needs to follow her own advice and maybe pick up a dictionary and first find out what truth actually means. Anyway, he says, she said, just stick to the truth. It's the thing I always fall back on, always. And if you think like that, who would be stupid enough to lie? It takes up too much time and effort. Well, yeah. His book Spare has been debunked all over the place, right? That says it all, right, guys? He also mentions Archie and Lily. Thanks to Prince William's jaw at Born First kindly for sharing this on X. And the article says, Harry wants his children to have the very best education. He's retained his closest friendship group of confidants from his days at school at Ludgrove and Eton. He wants that for his own children. Harry may, however, have a challenge selling his plan to Megsy, who is said to consider sending children to boarding school barbaric. The friend concedes there's still some negotiation for Harry to have with Meghan. The king, however, is delighted. That comment suggests that Hazard had mentioned his British education plan to his father. Yeah, to cozy up. It's a manipulative tactic. You want to see your children? Well, you know, I'm considering sending them to England for their education, so you'll get to see them more. Accept my apology. Let me back into the family. Seriously. But ultimately, why is he doing this in the first place? Well, as GB News is saying right here, Prince Harry is hoping that King Charles will encourage the nation to accept him back. All the headlines, right, about the meeting that Hazard had last week with King Charles, which, by the way, I was sure it was never going to happen. I just thought it was fluff and hot air from Team Sussex, Hazard and Megsy. I was wrong. Happy to admit that. Reality is, that meeting took place. But why? Ultimately, oh yeah, Hazard is desperate. He knows that his image is in the mud. And the majority of people do not like him. You look at the polls, he is like the least liked member of the royal family. The only one that is most disliked more than him is Prince Andrew. And that's saying something. But for him to turn round, going around full circle, and saying to King Charles and the rest of us in this country, right, that Spare wasn't about revenge and that his conscience is clear, I've just got one thing to ask Hazard. What the hell are you smoking? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do you believe Hazard when he says that Spare wasn't about revenge and that his conscience is now clear? I know I don't. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.